Hello, I am the Ronin Pawn, and this is NationStates, and this is the rogue nation of Pawntucky. I'm a dictator. That's why I grew the beard. Let's have a quick look in on the state of Pawnsilvania, the region in which Pawntucky exists. Oh, we contain 95 nations and are the 137th most in the world. If you'd like to join us and push that number up, do it. Oh, and in the region of Pawnsilvania, I am 93rd. By what measurement? Well, maybe we can do a little bit better today. We've got some issues on the docket. Power problems need a bright solution. The oldest power station in Pawntucky suffered a catastrophic failure last night, plunging a third of Pawntucky's national power supply grid into darkness. There is no debate that it needs to be replaced, but the question is, with what? Oh, this should be fun. The solution is clear, says environmental activist Carl Putin. Okay, wind turbines and solar power stations are the cleanest there are. We must switch power production to forms of renewable energy, which will never run out. The only minor problems are that wind farms will take up a great deal of space, and of course we can't exactly rely on the weather. It isn't as though we control it, but think of how much healthier people will be without all that pollution. And light. And, light. Wind power, solar collectors, bah! Have you ever wondered when the least amount of strain is placed on the national grid? When the sun is shining, exclaims Southern Pawntucky elector official Pete McFly. We need power under our control and cheaply. Coal has been the cheapest and most abundant power source for ages. We don't need this airy-fairy wind malarkey when we have cheap and reliable power available for all. True, pollution will be a bit on the heavy side, but I'm sure that's only a minor problem with how well funded our health system is. It's true. It's true, I've got one of the best. I'm 93rd. Apparently it's not ranked based on our health services. Now, the way I see it is that it's either green, expensive, and sprawling, or compact, polluting, and cheap. Wouldn't it be nice if we had the best of both worlds? Well, we can, claims fission technician Margaret Dupont. Nuclear power is reliable, clean, and although it isn't cheap, it won't break the bank. There is a risk of deadly meltdown, but this is relatively small, and the only people who could be against this are anti-nuclear protesters. But what do we care about those tree-hugging hippies? Oh, good. So we've got the option of wind turbines, nuclear power plant, or just burn anything that's handy. See, I'm not a fan of nuclear power. I mean, I am, but I'm not. I'm not far from a very large nuclear power plant here in Michigan. Nuclear power has come a long way, okay? And it gets a bad rap because, okay, yes, once, massive meltdown and had to just pour concrete on it and leave the area for 60 to 120 years. I get it. But the errors of old have informed the new technology, and I'm gonna say it's not, there isn't a good solution. Really. I mean, I like wind turbines and solar power. I think it's awesome. I think it's great. But honestly, the technology just isn't there to sustain an entire nation at this point. We need to grow it. We need to supplement. It needs to be there. But we need to have a strong core electrical generation. And the core of our electricity in Pawntucky is going to be the stuff that makes superheroes. So, if you're lucky, you just might start shooting webs out of your wrist. It wasn't nuclear. Well, it was a bite from a nuclear, I don't know. Protesters are up in arms over nuclear power stations. Tourism industry braces for influx. Well, apparently the rest of the world wants to come and see what it looks like before it all goes up in flames. Official exhausted after 2-hour grilling from school children. Well, good, the kids are getting smart. Ooh, we've gone fission and built nuclear power plants. Yes, well, there aren't a lot of good options there. Political apathy has gone down, however. The whatever index is 31.5% on the down. Well, I've pissed people off enough to give a rat's. Fluoride controversy, a toothy problem. Recent reports revealing that the dental health of Pawntucky is far below the regional average have ignited a fierce debate over whether to introduce fluoride to the nation's tap water services. I just need some whitening strips, okay? Fluoride has been shown time and again to promote dental health, argues Dr. Edwin Namel. Namel, cousin of Enigma the Riddler, chairperson of the Friends of the Teeth. It's not an experimental drug, for heaven's sake. It's an accepted method of promoting national good health. A nationwide program for the fluoridation of drinking water should not be seen as optional. First off, nothing should be fluoridized. Fluoridated. I don't want Florida getting out of this small space that we've left it in. It's a no-brainer for any sensible government. We need to implement this now, whether the public want it or not. I am strongly against this proposal, rages Belinda Nguyen, one of the more vociferous members of the Pawnsatucky Green Society. Wow, there's a word you don't often see. Nguyen. When I turn on the water tap, I expect to get just that, water, nothing else. We are not lab rats, and it is not the government's place to force us into taking these chemicals. In fact, I reckon we should put the brakes on all these new chemicals. It's curious to see vociferous and I reckon in the same paragraph, isn't it? There's no need to go to either extreme to Stan Schwarzenegger, your personal dentist.
It's all about choice. Get to the chopper. Your teeth are falling out. The cavities are coming!
It's all about, choice. Here's a nice alternative. Why not just have clean, non-fluorinated drinking water and give more funds to dentists? If we had enough money, we could all make dental care absolutely free. It will be demanding on the taxpayers, I know, but they'll surely be happy when they all have sparkling white teeth. Yeah, you know what? Why not? Better dental for the entire country. I could get those whitening strips. God, they're expensive. Most of the nation's wealthy aristocrats are dentists. Economic growth exceeds forecast. Government official just wanted to help, coroner says. Wage rises put spring in step, money in pocket. Medical researchers close in on cure for spontaneous decapititis with a statue of a Roman emperor. Listen, I've got some harsh, punitive policies here, but somebody needs to die. Let's have it be entertaining. Look, healthcare goes up and our economic output goes up. And the average income goes up. I did not hurt the economy one little bit by making sure we all have good teeth. In fact, one might see it as a preventative measure that is saving us money. What the hell is this? Coup d'etat in Pawnsatucky? Oh, hell no! General! The nukes! During a state visit to a foreign nation, revolutionaries took advantage of your absence to seize government buildings, take workers hostage, and demand an end to your tyrannical regime. I have been nothing but good for you people, and I go on holiday to the Cayman Islands for a few just to check my bank accounts, and this is what you bring me? We call on our great leader to renounce this corrupt regime and join the revolution, shouts revolutionary leader Charles McGee, while holding a knife to the throat of a terrified government minister. For far too long, we have toiled under the corruption and mendacity of the bourgeois, the rich people. It's time for a reckoning. Dissolve the government. Let us tear off the shackles of oppression and put an end to this dictatorship of our souls. Our soldiers are ready to storm the building and gun down those interlopers at once, says your Minister of Defense at an emergency meeting in a secret bunker. We must demonstrate strength in the face of these traitors, and quickly. If we give any leeway to these people, they'll just try to push for more and more power and overthrow us totally. We've got to nip this in the bud and direct much more funding toward the military in the future so they never try this again. If we press down hard enough, they'll never dare to even ask for more freedoms. No, I don't think so. That's a little harsh. That's too dangerous, says your Commissioner of Police, who also happens to be your brother. Man, my family members keep popping up. Didn't even know I had a brother. We could lose hostages that way. We've just got to stand proud as the honorable citizens of Pawnsatucky and negotiate with these people for the safe release of our workers. Don't take this the wrong way. I think you're a great leader, and my brother, but maybe we could give the nation some freedoms in return. They may be asking for total control, but I think you'll find they'll make do with a lot less. Damn it, I am a beneficent dictator, and that is the ideal form of government. If I were running everything and you didn't have any option whatsoever, you might not be happy about it, but your teeth would be just sparkling. Hey, that's just silly. This is Marlene Love, your personally appointed Minister of the Free Press. I know a way which means we won't have to give these hippies their freedoms and also allows us to get our workers back, which is good for your image, I might add. Money can't buy you love, but it can buy you peace. If you paid several million beers to the rebels, I'm sure you'll find them much more cooperative. Remember, it's better to spend money than spend lives. From a publicity point of view, anyway. Wow, just pay them off and send them home? Might work. It could work. I'm really finding it hard to make a decision here, you kind of got me in a tight spot here. Feeling a lot of pressure. Kind of under the gun. It's a prop, okay? It shoots BBs. You see the orange tip? It's a prop. I got a prop. I don't want to give up control. I just don't want to give up control, I've seen what people do when they aren't being underneath the thumb of an oppressive dictatorship. It just doesn't work. I'm going to negotiate. I'm going to offer some freedoms in probably political. I don't want political freedoms. I'm going to offer the people some freedoms, and we'll just see how things work themselves out. Government workers are regularly taken hostage by protesters in order to get them. Well, that worked out great. Pawtucke's political freedoms rose from outlawed to rare. Man almost catches enormous fish. All right, good. The headlines are nice. Race row after woman ejected from store. International observers applaud rising political freedom in Pawtucket. I don't care what they think. Ideological radicality has dropped on the pollinator subjective decentrality index or something. And the kickbacks per hour are extremely down, so corruption went down there a bit. It's, always look on the bright side of losing your control over an entire nation. I'll get it back. Dying for a kiss. Oh, they must have read my diary. Penny Ford, a 15-year-old immigrant residing in the city of Pawntucky City, was murdered recently. Oh, the unusual circumstance here is that her killer was her own father. Oh, who had executed her in an honor. Oh, for sharing a kiss with a Pawtuckian boy. Oh, the father has now been arrested, but he is showing no remorse. This is what it's for. This is what I've been saying all along, says nationalist politician Jennifer Doolittle in a tone that can only be described as a Frankenstein mix of smugness and fury. Smugness and fury. Can I do that? Wait, it's what I always do. When we let these foreigners into our country, they import barbaric practices. Unless you want us to one day become the holy fundamentalist kingdom of Pawtucky, you should set up a vetting process to keep crazies out. Maybe a profiling test that makes sure that immigrants share our values. Oh, and make the immigrants who are already in take the test too. Yeah, that's. And who defines this? Asked Matilda Wolowitz, a human rights lawyer who is herself an immigrant. What happened here was tragic, but we mustn't be reactionary. Maybe if Pawtucky wasn't so hostile to immigrants, the dad wouldn't have minded his daughter dating a local. I don't condone this murder, but the root cause here is a divided society. Throw some funding into celebrating the religious festivals and cultural practices of the world and bring the community together as one. I don't really see that that's a way to address this. I think more with the chopping off of the head. Yes, the lobbing off of the cabeza is what I want to go for. Am I missing something obvious here? Asks loutish thug Eobard O. Missing something obvious. Seems to me that the girl dishonored her father, and so her father killed her for the sake of his family name. I mean, why are we saying that's a bad thing? How could anyone call that a bad thing? You make a strong point. Well, these decisions aren't fun at all. All right, let's all celebrate something day. Bemused citizens are encouraged to sing foreign language hymns of religions that they've never heard of. It's good to sing it because then it means nothing to you. It's just a nice song. Cultural groups celebrate growing acceptance. School bans chess as too confrontational. Simplifying the latest trend that may change your life. New museum to open. The cultural, historical history of people who weren't born here. Which all of us, if you look far enough back, weren't born here. Under and over, simultaneously develop low inequality and high culture. Oh, it's a good thing. I'm making the right choices. Book repository develop quality libraries. We are stocked on David Wong novels. He's my favorite, and it's now become, national reading. You have to read them. Oh, religiousness is back up. Good. I have nothing against religiousness as long as it's not bound to, being an ass. One more issue, and we've got another international incident. This is the second one we've saw. Napalm in the morning. Does this have to do with Brazilistan? Because we geared up for a war with them last time. A troubled country called Brazilistan has abducted Pawtuckian tourists and sent them to work in diamond mines in appalling conditions. Yes, I'm aware. We are handling it, aren't we, General? Wow. That's a lot of casualties, General. You gathered your advisors and decided the best course of action was war, immediate and violent. Indeed, this is a grim day in the history of Pawtucky. Today, Pawtucky goes to war. All eyes are on officials in Pawtucky City waiting with bated breath to learn what form the coming conflict with Brazilistan will take. We must mount a full-scale invasion, declares General Miley Dubois, while jabbing at a map of Brazilistan. We can land forces here, and from there we can march straight on to their capital. It could cost millions of our soldiers' lives and take years, but short of nuking Brazilistan, this is the only road to victory. With all due respect, General, you are completely out of your gourd, Beth Stark of the Air Force huffs. A full-on attack will decimate our troop levels. This is a land whose terrain and climate our foot soldiers are unaccustomed to. No, the best approach is clearly the tactical one. We've gathered a list of targets that can be taken out through a sustained aerial campaign. This will reduce Brazilistan's ability to wage war long before we land a single troop carrier in their territory. Why send scores of soldiers to their deaths when we can send scores of our bombs instead? Love the smell of napalm in the morning. Carpet bombing has decimated Brazilistan's landscape and population. I'm sorry to the population, but don't mess with my kids. Military-industrial complex coming along nicely. Revitalized military supplier promises jobs and discounted weapons. Accountants in demand as taxation code grows more complex. Chess tournament ends in... It's an airsoft pistol. It doesn't even... Arms manufacturing is up. Weaponization, weapons per person. This could be bad. At the beginning of the episode, they were overthrowing my government. They didn't even have guns. My country has embarked on the path of war. And let me be serious with you for a second. If you're gonna go there, you go there to the nines, okay? You make it swift, you make it harsh, you get it over with. End it quickly by being victorious. I am the Ronin Pawn, and this is Pawntucky, where the nation's wealthy aristocrats are dentists, government workers are regularly taken hostage by protesters, abused citizens are encouraged to sing foreign language hymns of religions they've never heard of, and carpet bombing has decimated a foreign landscape. What did you expect? Now to find all the little BBs I just shot all over the room.